You know what's interesting? The moment you stop texting her and she stops reaching out too, it almost feels like everything just fades. Like the silence means it's done, finished. But that's not actually what's happening. The dynamic doesn't end when the messages stop. It just changes form. Because silence isn't empty. It's actually where emotions start to show up more clearly than ever. When things go quiet between two people, something shifts. One person begins to look inward, replaying moments, thinking deeply. The other starts feeling uneasy, maybe even anxious. And the one who can remain steady and grounded in that silence, that person holds the real control in the situation. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll see why silence can say more than any message ever could. The truth is, modern relationships are built on constant noise. Notifications, messages, stories, likes. It's an endless cycle of attention and validation. We've all gotten used to being noticed all the time, but silence breaks that pattern. It removes the constant stimulation and creates space. And in that space, reality starts to surface. When both of you stop reaching out, that silence becomes like a mirror. And what you see in that mirror isn't really about her, it's about you. It reflects your thoughts, your fears, your level of attachment. This is where a deeper mindset comes in. Learning to stay emotionally balanced, clear, and a little detached. There's a reason thinkers like Marcus Aurelius emphasized truth and discipline. He believed that if something isn't right, you shouldn't do it. And if it isn't true, you shouldn't say it. Silence in its purest form aligns with that idea. It carries no manipulation, no chasing, no neediness. It's choosing not to seek validation. It's honesty without saying a single, here's the part most people miss. The second communication stops, your mind doesn't go quiet. It actually gets louder. A battle begins inside you. On one side, your ego pushes you to reach out, to send just one more message, to make sure you're not forgotten. On the other side, there's a quieter voice telling you to pause, to stay still, to let things unfold and allow your absence to be felt. Most people lose in that moment because silence exposes how attached you really are. Suddenly, your mind starts racing. You question everything. Did I mess something up? Is she talking to someone else? Is this some kind of test? And that's where the hard truth begins to show itself. She's not playing games with you. Life is testing you. And just like you're sitting in silence, she's in her own space too, dealing with her own thoughts. Inside her mind, a different process begins to unfold. At first, she might actually feel a sense of ease. There's no pressure, no constant messages, no expectations to meet. It feels light. But as time passes, that feeling doesn't last. That ease slowly shifts into curiosity. Then questions start forming. Then doubt creeps in. And eventually, that turns into an emotional pull she didn't expect. Because what once felt like freedom slowly starts to feel like something missing. Someone with an avoidant mindset often doesn't fully recognize your value when you're always there. It's your absence that makes it real. When you stop chasing, you stop feeding that constant need for attention. And suddenly, she's left facing the empty space that your presence used to fill. Here's what most people don't understand. Silence isn't doing nothing. It's actually very powerful. It's a shift in energy. It's where emotional balance begins to reset. All the effort, the chasing, the need to control the situation, it starts to reverse. Attraction and power are always moving. They're never fixed. And a lot of that movement depends on who breaks first. The one who can stay grounded in silence longer isn't being cold or distant. They've found their center. They're no longer trying to negotiate their worth or chase a connection that isn't solid. Instead, they're building a stronger sense of presence within themselves. When you stop reaching out, something deeper happens. Your silence becomes a reflection of the other person's true nature. If her intentions were genuine, she'll start to feel your absence and eventually reach out. If not, she'll look for attention somewhere else. Either way, silence reveals reality much faster than words ever can. That's where real emotional strength comes in. The ability to stay still while everything around you feels uncertain. As Epictetus taught, it's not the situation itself that defines you, it's how you respond to it. And choosing silence is a response. It's not weakness, it's discipline. It's control at the highest level. Let me be real with you for a moment, because this is where most people struggle. When communication stops, your mind starts searching for answers. You want closure. You feel the urge to explain yourself, fix things, or prove your value. That's completely human. But real strength comes from understanding that closure doesn't always come from a conversation. It comes from acceptance, from letting go of the need to force an outcome. If someone truly values you, they won't need reminders. Your absence will be enough for them to feel it. You don't have to keep proving your worth to someone who already knows it deep down. This is where emotional control becomes powerful. You stop trying to win someone else back and you start reconnecting with yourself. You shift your focus inward instead of outward. The lesson here is simple. Silence isn't about punishing the other person. It's about protecting your own energy. It's not about ignoring them to gain control. It's about respecting yourself enough to stop over-explaining your value to someone who chooses not to see it. And that's when your power starts to return. Because when you stop chasing, you're not losing them. You're finding yourself again. So what does this actually look like in real life? It means not letting that silence turn into stress or overthinking. Instead, you use it. You fill that space with something meaningful. Stay busy, not to impress anyone, but to grow. Focus on your body, your mindset, your skills. Go train, read more, improve yourself, build something real. Not to get her attention back, but to remind yourself you are when no one else is around. Every time you hold yourself back from sending that message, something important is happening inside you. You're literally training your mind to choose calm over chasing. You're teaching yourself that peace feels stronger than the urge to seek attention. And here's the part most people don't expect. That shift in your energy doesn't go unnoticed. People can sense when your focus comes back to yourself. Your silence starts to carry weight because it's no longer coming from neediness, it's coming from strength. She begins to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Has he moved on? Was he actually the one in control the whole time? That's when everything starts to turn, because silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty creates curiosity, and curiosity builds attraction. But here's the key difference in mindset. You're not staying silent as a tactic to win her back. You're doing it to reconnect with yourself. When you start working on yourself from the inside out, you realize something deeper. She was never the source of your value. She was only reflecting what was already within you. As your energy becomes more stable, you stop trying to control outcomes. You stop chasing results. Instead, you start living in a place of calm and self-respect. And ironically, that's when things around you begin to shift. Sometimes, even she starts moving toward you. So ask yourself honestly, if both of you stopped talking right now, would that silence make you feel at peace, or would it reveal how dependent you've become? That answer tells you everything you need to know. Most people can't sit with silence because it forces them to face themselves. But someone with real emotional control doesn't run from it. They accept it. As Marcus Aurelius once said, a person can always find a quiet place within their own mind. That inner space is where true stability lives. It's a place where no delay, no rejection, no unanswered message can shake you. So the next time things go quiet, don't react out of fear. Don't rush to fill the gap. Let the silence do its job, because silence doesn't close the story. It reveals what was always there. And in that stillness, remember this: you're not losing control. You're learning how to truly have it. If this connected with you on a deeper level, take a moment, breathe, and understand one thing clearly. Silence isn't the end of something. It's where your transformation begins. Every time you hold yourself back from sending that message, something important is happening inside you. You're literally retraining your mind. You're breaking a pattern that most people stay stuck in for years. Instead of reacting instantly, instead of chasing that quick relief, you're choosing control. And over time, that control turns into strength. You begin to realize that peace actually feels better than constantly needing a response. At first, it won't feel easy. Your mind will keep pulling you back toward old habits. It will try to convince you that reaching out will fix everything, that one message will bring clarity, that silence means you're losing something. But that's just conditioning. That's the part of you that's uncomfortable being alone with your thoughts. And the more you resist that urge, the more you grow beyond it. And here's the shift that most people don't see coming. When your energy starts to change, people feel it. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to prove anything. It shows in the way you carry yourself, in the way you stop reacting, in the way you become harder to read. Your silence starts to feel different. It's no longer heavy or desperate. It becomes calm, grounded, and powerful. Naturally, she begins to notice. Questions start forming in her mind. Why hasn't he reached out? Why does it feel like he's okay without me? Did he move on? Or did I misunderstand his value? And just like that, the dynamic begins to shift. Because silence creates space. And in that space, curiosity grows. And where curiosity grows, attraction often follows. But you have to understand something clearly. This isn't about using silence as a trick or a strategy to pull her back in. If that's your intention, you'll fall right back into the same cycle. Real power comes when you use that silence to rebuild yourself. When you stop focusing on her reaction and start focusing on your own direction. Because the truth is, she was never the source of your worth. She only reflected how you felt about yourself at the time. And when you begin to strengthen that from within, everything changes. You stop needing constant validation. You stop looking for approval. You start standing on your own. As your energy becomes more stable, your mindset becomes clearer. You're no longer trying to control outcomes or force situations to go your way. You're not sitting there hoping she texts first or worrying about what she's doing. You're present in your own life. You're building something real for yourself. And ironically, that's when things often start to come back around. Not because you chased them, but because you stopped. Because you became someone who isn't easily shaken. Someone who doesn't lose themselves in uncertainty. So ask yourself this honestly. If everything went silent right now, would you feel calm or would you feel empty? Would you feel grounded or would you feel like something is missing? Because that answer reveals your current state. It shows whether you're standing in your own strength or still leaning on someone else for emotional stability. Most people struggle with silence because it forces them to face what they've been avoiding. It removes distractions. It removes the noise. And suddenly, they're left alone with their thoughts, their insecurities, their fears. That's why they rush to fill the gap. That's why they send that message even when they know they shouldn't. But someone with real emotional discipline learns to sit in that space. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's necessary. Growth happens there. Clarity happens there. You start understanding yourself on a deeper level. As Marcus Aurelius once expressed, the mind itself can be a place of peace if you learn how to live within it. That inner space becomes your foundation, a place where no external situation, no delay, no rejection can shake who you are. So the next time everything goes quiet, don't panic. Don't rush to break the silence just to ease your discomfort. Let it be. Let it teach you. Let it show you where you stand. Use that time wisely. Focus on becoming better, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Build your habits, strengthen your body, sharpen your thinking, invest in your growth, not as a way to prove something, but as a way to evolve into someone you respect. Because in the end, this was never about losing or winning someone. It was about finding yourself again. It was about breaking free from patterns that kept you stuck. It was about realizing that your value doesn't decrease just because someone fails to recognize it. And when you truly understand that, everything changes. You stop chasing. You stop forcing. You stop overthinking every little detail. You become calm in situations that once made you anxious. You become steady in moments that once made you react. And that's real power. Not controlling someone else, but mastering yourself. So if this moment of silence is happening in your life right now, don't see it as the end of something. See it as the beginning of something deeper. A shift, a transformation, a chance to rebuild yourself in a way that no external situation can take away. Take a breath, slow down, trust the process. Because silence isn't here to break you. It's here to reveal you.